Let's
I
begin.
heard it that time. I never hear it.
Oh,
but I
no.
heard it.
That's not good.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Welcome
again.
back. It's been a while. It's been a little bit. We recorded something. But it was 40 minutes, and it was really, really bad.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
So when I started editing it, like 10
Let me
minutes in, I was
agree.
like, should we even upload this? And we both agreed
Yeah.
to not do it because it was really, really bad.
It was trash.
Yeah.
But maybe when we hit like 5 billion subscribers, then
No.
we'll consider it. Or maybe 6 billion.
6 billion. Yeah, I like 6 billion.
Yeah.
But that's a maybe.
Mm.
You know. Okay, I'm just gonna get straight into it.
Yeah. Address the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the
Rather
room
large
is that,
elephant.
is that I took a little trip to Sao Paulo last weekend. It was a pretty nice city. I didn't see a lot of it though because I was in the
Very busy at the F1 track.
rainstorm.
Oh,
F1
and
track,
that.
yeah. So I went to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Which is, I really like it. It's probably my favorite track. It's a really nice.
It's one of the
track
best
to-
tracks, yeah.
Yeah, in the game, it's probably my favorite because it's so short, which I like
Yeah.
because
Yeah, and
it's not that time consuming, and it's like very interesting in like the way it's
Oh
designed.
yeah. Super good track. And like it always delivers with great races as it did,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about.
Yes, exactly. But I went. It was a surprise decision. We got like second-hand tickets because obviously they were sold out.
Okay.
Because we got them like September. No, like beginning of October. So like we like it was actually very easy to find used tickets, but obviously very expensive. But
I
we
mean, there's
don't
a
talk
lot
about
of
that.
people at every race, right? So like, there's a lot of tickets
yeah.
out there.
I think the most we had was 300,000 people,
Oh wow.
which is a little bit.
Yeah, like I mean, concerts are what, like 90K at like the big venues.
Yeah,
So,
and this
yeah.
was a little bit.
Yeah,
just a
like
little bit.
yeah.
But okay, I should have rehearsed this more, so I'm just gonna improvise. I like.
Okay, good.
It would have been better to do this when it was still fresh in my mind, but I think I'll still be able to remember the most important bits.
You better remember,
So
or else we
first-
don't have content.
Okay, I got there Thursday, right? It was a free day in my school because it was Dia de Muertos.
Oh yeah.
Mexico W. And so we traveled in the morning on Thursday, and we got to our hotel, and then we like explored around the city a little bit, like very little, like just like the bits around us, because the city is huge. Like Sao Paulo is like the like peak of urbanization, because it's all just buildings on buildings on buildings on buildings,
Okay.
and it's never ending basically. And it's honestly kind of depressing, but
A little bit, but we're gonna talk about that.
but we don't talk about that. And also, it's better than Rio. I concluded this on the first day. I prefer it more because instead of averaging 40 degrees like they do here, they average like 20. So you can
that's
wear
good.
like hoodies and pants and not
You can like
want to
live.
die.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also like I don't know when I started caring about the way I dress, but like now I do, obviously. And when I went to like the central part of Sao Paulo, everyone just had the sickest drip, and I loved it. And like here in Rio, everyone has like a random shirt, shorts, and then like sandals. That's
Anything
that's
to survive.
everyone's drip. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like that's the only thing you can wear. But there, like you can
God,
wear a
I'm
hoodie.
just looking
you
at
can wear
photos of Sao
pants.
Paulo. This is like, it's just building.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing, but it's
yeah.
it's better.
It looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the nice parts.
Mm.
I mean, you haven't been to this part of the world, have you?
No, I haven't left Europe. We don't talk about that. Okay.
Oh, okay. So you're a sheltered child, but that's a
A
lot
little
of
bit.
that's a lot of Central and South American cities. It's just like the nice parts. They're still kind of fucked, but like they're nice. Like if you go to visit that city, you will only be at the nice parts unless you're insane and going to like the other parts, which is like most of the city. So so like the nice parts are really nice, and then you like walk for 5 minutes, and it's just
Then oopsies.
horrible.
No, I was scrolled down like
Um,
a few pages, literally like a few pages on Google Images, and I get this one.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Oh yeah.
Lovely.
That's the
Lovely.
peak. That's the peak of
Peak of capitalism.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's incredible.
Anyway,
That's
yeah, back
that's
to
actually kind of what I'll come back to this, but that's kind of what
Yeah.
the F1 track is like.
So
but,
back to F1 GP.
Okay. First day, the hotel had like I didn't take a picture of it. I said I was going to, but I didn't. But they had like 4 stands, each dedicated to a different team. It was Mercedes, then Ferrari, then Red Bull, and then McLaren. And they had like hats, and then like hoodies, shirts, and like dry fit wear for like the like just general exercise. And okay, it was nice. Like it was nice having
Mhm.
the option to buy from there. But I think for one, it was more expensive than like buying it on the track. And
How much was
also,
it again? Like 80 or something for a hat?
yeah, on the track it was 80. Here it was more.
Oh.
And but like every team, like Mercedes had Russell, Hamilton, Ferrari had Sainz, Leclerc, McLaren had Piastri, Norris. Red Bull only had Max. Nothing about Checo. No hat.
I
no
could totally
shirts.
imagine like the music playing in the store is like the
Yeah, I mean it might as well have been because there was nothing. No hats, no nothing.
Wow.
Maybe it was because the Mexican fans are just that good that they like sold out instantly. But
I
I don't
I
think
think it's
that's
just
I don't think
I
that's
think
the
it's
case.
just
I think
like,
they just hate Checo.
yeah.
Um,
And I don't know if we talked about I think we talked about it on the Forgotten episode, but like how much like Red Bull still tries to emphasize that they like Checo.
Yeah.
Even though
I think-
he's not making it through next year.
Yeah. No. 'Cause
I would
we
like
talked
him
about
to,
the US.
But yeah.
We talked about the US Grand Prix. The Mexican the tragedy hadn't happened at that point.
Oh yeah.
The US Grand Prix, Sargent got points, that's the only thing that mattered. Mexican Grand Prix. I'll deviate a little bit. Mexican Grand Prix. I was super excited to watch because like I saw that Checo had more confidence than normal.
Yeah.
Cuz like recently he's been kind of in like purgatory.
Kind of down. Yeah.
Yeah. He like
But he was ready to
did
win
not
that
do
race.
well. Yeah.
And
I-
it looked like it for the first 3 seconds as well.
I like was sat down with my family. The F1 was on the TV. We were like watching the pre-race, whatever, and then like the race starts. Checo's like 6th, I think, and like instantly, I like because it's a long straight from like the like starting line to the first corner in that track, and like I see, it's like Max and Leclerc fighting for the first position, and I see to the right, Checo is right beside them, like out of nowhere. He
Yeah.
started 6th, and now he's right beside them, and then like they get to the corner, Checo gets the lead, and then fucks it into Leclerc, and loses the car, loses the race, has to
Yeah.
retire.
Basically
I
did
just
what Hamilton
remember,
did in what's
Yeah.
it called?
Yeah,
Qatar.
Qatar.
No. Was it Qatar? Yeah.
yeah, and I just I went from like I was literally screaming like Checo, pointing at the TV, to like just being so sad.
Just like
I
sinking
literally-
into the seat.
I was like second lap because that happened first lap. Second lap, like they went around. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this, and I just went to my room and did whatever.
Lose all interest, yeah.
But that was the tragedy of the Mexican Grand Prix. It was a day
Real
to
tragedy.
forget for Checo fans, especially
Mhm.
because of all the like
hype.
I on my Instagram, like recommended is
Uh-huh.
F1,
Yeah,
and
same.
it's mostly Checo because like obviously, and like I every like post of him was just everyone clowning on him, and I hate the hate that Checo gets, even though like some of it is justified. I still hate it because like obviously I'm gonna always
I think
support him.
like every time there's anyone in that second Red Bull seat, I always get hate because it's just a
Yeah.
joke.
And it sucks because he hasn't been that hated in recent years, but now that Ricardo has a chance to get his seat, I think the hate like it like got higher because like now there's more people wanting Ricardo to take his
I think
place.
it's like Ricardo will come back, right, and then it's the same thing will happen to him.
Yeah.
It'll just happen again.
I think put Ricardo in the current Red Bull car like 7 years ago, he would win the championship and fight Max for it. But now, like,
Yeah.
I think it would be similar to Checo. Maybe he would do better, but I don't think he would challenge for the championship.
No, I
because
think
Max
there's
is just
there's
at
like
his prime.
huge issue with that seat. That Red Bull essentially have one driver, and then the other one is just there because
Yeah.
they have to have two drivers. Like they would
Yeah.
do like perfectly fine without that other seat, which is depressing
Yeah.
and not good. But many victims have fallen to that seat, that second seat.
And I mean, honestly, I don't want to see him go through this, but I think if anyone deserves the second seat after Checo, it's Yuki, because he's been
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
patiently. He's been
Oh yeah.
he's been like having a lot of good results in like a shit car
Mm.
recently. And Ricardo, he like had his chance. He left the team. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
obviously it would be sick
like-
to like see him back, but let Yuki have a chance because like he is still young. He still has a bright like career ahead of him. To see him in that seat would be sick.
The best the best thing I saw was I think I sent you this on Instagram. It was like a bunch of like different F1 drivers saying like what they want to, what's their main goal in life, and they always say
Oh,
like
yeah.
winning the championship. And then there's Yuki. I want to open a restaurant, like my own restaurant. He's so humble. I love him.
Yeah.
Yuki's a legend.
He said that he's only an F1 so that he could get enough money for his restaurant.
So he picked the
Which I
sport that
think
is
that's so
the
good.
most expensive to get into, to get enough money to get a restaurant.
He's
That's
gonna
some
like,
dedication.
win a championship and be like, okay, bye, and then open like a 5 Michelin star.
He's
restaurant.
gonna do a Rosberg, but instead of becoming like a reporter, he's just gonna be like, so my restaurant here in like Japan or something is open.
Honestly, better because like Rosberg just went straight back to F1 afterwards, but like you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he
He's
should
gonna
like
become a
he
five-star
should like
chef.
he'll put like stands like on the track as well, like when people
Yeah,
go, you could just
yeah,
go
yeah.
get some of his food. I would eat Yuki's
That'd be
food.
sick. Me too.
That would be great.
Okay.
So okay, let's talk about the race.
Yeah. Let's
Brazil
go
race.
back to the whole point of
The actual elephant
Yeah.
in the room.
Okay, so Friday.
Mm.
I don't know how it worked out. My parents were the ones that did the research on how to get to the track. Like I thought we were just gonna get like an Uber to the track, but they were like, no, it's quicker if you take the metro and then you take the bus from the metro to the track. And I'm like, okay.
Sure.
In the back of my mind, I was like, there's definitely gonna be like a huge line to like get into the metro and into the bus. But to get into the metro wasn't actually that bad.
Okay, cool.
It was like some fans around us, all of them were Dutch. All of them were Dutch. So like they had like the orange shirt, the Red Bull
Yeah.
hat, and then it was me with like my Mexico jersey and my dad with his Checo hat, because he had a Checo hat before that. And then so it was like 5 stations from the our hotel station to the track station.
Mm-hmm.
And once we got there, we saw like a huge line outside, and it was like
Oh yeah.
to get to the bus, and I was like, I knew
Oh.
it. And so like we like were walking, and then there was like a turn, and we're like, okay, I'm sure like it ends here. We take the turn, it keeps on
Oh, it
going.
doesn't end.
We like take another turn, it keeps on going. And so we line up finally after like 5 minutes of walking, and it's like an hour wait. It was like, it could have been worse, but also I think, like, cause like, Sao Paulo, it's a F1 track that's been running for years.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could definitely figure out like a better way to get the fans to the track without having to wait like 1 hour, 2 hours to get to the bus, and then 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to get into the track, because there's also a huge lane outside of the track. But
Yeah, like I
anyway.
can't imagine like probably like the new ones like Saudi Arabia was like really well designed or something, but I can't imagine like Monaco. You probably just get lost and like I don't know. There's like no space in Monaco.
Yeah, I don't know how it works there because the track is the city. So
Yeah, so you just kind of like got to stand on like the sidewalk, like, oh, there's a car coming.
Yeah. But yeah, like that was also something we talked about, me and my parents. Like, I'm sure in like the European tracks, the Middle East tracks, they're like really easy to get into because, well, Europe has mostly developed cities.
Well, I don't know about. I assume Silverstone is probably terrible because it's just the UK being
but
useless.
probably
But
better
all the
than
other ones,
Brazil.
yeah, all the other ones are probably good. Like
Yeah.
what's like a good one? And probably like France is probably alright
Italy.
because it's pretty new. Oh yeah, I mean Monza's pretty old, but we'll see.
But yeah.
I don't know.
And then like the Middle East, it's all artificial, so it's probably really easy to get in. But like Mexico and Brazil, I'm sure they're like super hard to get into. Because they're just like not developed for like they should be capable of handling that many people, but in like I don't think they are. In the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't help that the Sao Paulo track is in a. Do you know what a favela is? Favela.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like the poor neighborhoods of Brazil that are like riddled with crime, scams, like basically
Oopsies.
where tourists shouldn't visit.
Yeah.
And of course, the Formula One track is surrounded miles on miles by a favela. So everything around it is a favela. You have to, like, it's crazy because you'd expect like the F1 track to be like in the central part, like surrounded by like buildings or whatever. But no, it's just like a random favela with a with a F1 track in the middle of it. Like, it's nothing. Like, it's just like a museum or something.
That reminds me of Wembley Stadium when I went to go see a football game with a friend who has like a season ticket or something. Yeah, it was like England versus Hungary. England played terrible. It was kind of funny. And you could go by public transport, but that's a terrible idea because the station is closed. The main station from the stadium, they close it whenever there's a match because there's too many people going into the station. Not sure the point of the station is then.
Yeah.
Then so you had to drive for like 10 miles, 2.5 hours. Then when you get there, you arrive in like basically just like a neighborhood. Like it's I mean, I don't think it's like the poorest part of London. It's not like the nicest part though. It's just like a bunch of rows of houses, right? It's just like the boring like British rows of houses that you imagine. And then there's this huge stadium in the middle of it with like a bunch of super loud and aggressive British fans.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
that's sort of file.
It's
sort
like
of
basically what this was, because it was shocking to me that it was just a favela. um, just, like, cause I didn't do my research beforehand, if I'm being honest, but I didn't like, I don't know. Anyway, 1 hour bus, 1 hour line to get to the bus, and then it's like a 40-minute ride because of the traffic and the like stops, cause like it stops at like every different section, because there's different sections to get into the track. There's like section G, section A, section B, and they didn't tell us that before. And also, when they like stop, they like shout out the section that it is. But we're like so far behind on the bus that we can't hear what they're like shouting out. So we're like, oh, this must be it, right? But then we like look at the map.
It's section G, and you're like, all right, B, let's go.
Yeah. But no, it stops at section G, where it's section A. They're like at complete opposite ends of each other. So we're like, oh nope, this is not it. But we see a bunch of people that had A in their tickets get off at that station, not knowing that it was G. And like,
good thing you didn't follow the crowd. Did you?
Yeah. No, we almost did, but we didn't.
Okay.
But we were like, okay, well, I'm sure it's like a 20 or 30 minute walk. It's probably like 1 hour of walking to get to section A. But we like do like half a loop, and then we get to section A, we get dropped off, and we see like a huge line, and we're like, oh my god, we're gonna have to do this. But then we like ask because there's like a bunch of like people helping, like people like, because like it's a mess. It's such a mess. Like, I'm trying to be generous because I love Sao Paulo as a track, but it's such a mess to get in.
Yeah.
So they have a bunch of helpers there to like help you understand where the line starts, and also what each line is, because it's like 3 sections like really close together, and so the lines overlap, and it's like so confusing to tell which line is which. But like we like ask a helper, and they're like, oh, there's no line for section A, you can just walk straight in.
Oh.
And we're like, oh, okay,
but that works.
Perfect. Yeah. And so we get in, and it was really cool because like section A was like one of the 1 out of 2 sections that weren't like stands. It was just like a strip with like concrete seats. Like, it was like bleachers.
Yeah,
like,
I get what you mean.
Yeah. And like everything surrounding us was like stands, but they didn't have like stores. They didn't have like food, so it kind of like seemed like section A was better at the time, because we had like so many food stores, so many like water stations, a bunch of like different merch shops. But when we like go to sit down, because it's not like assigned, it's just like wherever you can find a seat, basically.
Yeah.
We like see that section A and section G, which was also the other like on the opposite end, it was like section A, just that different part of the track. But those are the only 2 sections that didn't have like a cover on it, so the sun just hits you straight on.
Oh.
No protection at all, except for like trees behind you, but the trees only help when it's like halfway through the day. So we're just like suffering in the sun.
Yeah. I've been there before. Like over the summer, I went to like these track and field competition that I watch. It's like F1. They have like a season, and they were in Poland, like in the south, in this tiny stadium. Well, not tiny, but it was like a small stadium. For some reason, they picked that, and we got like front row seats because they're super cheap, because it's like nobody goes.
Yeah.
And and problem with the front row, right? There's these glass barriers in front, and the sun just goes right into the glass barriers, and like the glass like burns you alive.
Why are there glass barriers for a track?
I don't know.
It
was. Yeah, but some venues need some rethinking. What's like a good venue I've been to? I can't think of any of them. Because all of like every like big venue just cannot be organized well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always
Yeah.
a mess.
All right, should we talk about like
Um,
the race itself?
yeah. Well, I'm gonna also talk about what happened after
Oh yeah.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But Friday it was, I think, free practice one, which was the only free practice of that weekend because it was a sprint weekend,
Yeah.
and then qualifying. Free practice, we got there like right as it was beginning. It was kind of boring, and we also couldn't find seats at the beginning because we didn't really understand how it worked. Like we were looking for our seats, but then we realized like, oh, there's no assigned seating.
Yeah.
So like once we got our seats, we were like, this is kind of boring, and also the sun is like really annoying. So let's just like go find food and like shop a little bit.
Dude, that's a good
So
idea.
we
Food
like
and shop.
exactly. It's the perfect combo. And I got a burger. It was really good. And then I bought a hat, and I really like this one.
Yeah.
I showed you it. It's the
Mm-hmm.
Valtteri Bottas hat.
Yeah.
And
It looks
I
really
bought
good.
it. I bought it because I was between like a Piastri hat because the McLaren hats are sick,
Oh.
or Bottas hat. I was gonna buy a Checo hat, but it just so happened that in the stores, in the track, they also didn't have any Checo hats at all.
Oh.
So
Nothing.
nothing at all. Like I expected that from the hotel, but not from like the actual track store. And there were like 5 different stores in like our section. None of them had Checo merch.
That's wild.
So that wasn't an option for me.
I mean, even if they
and, like-
did, like you were saying, the Red Bull ones are like unbelievably expensive.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari were like super expensive, which
Mm.
like makes sense, but also kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I was gonna buy the Piastri hat, but then I look around. Everyone has like the same hats. Like everyone has the same Mercedes hat. Everyone has the same Red Bull hat. Everyone has the same Ferrari and McLaren hat. And I'm like, no one has a Alfa Romeo hat, and they look sick. And also like Alfa
Mhm.
Romeo is like a team, like it's a very neutral team. No one hates Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
And they also
yeah.
have like sick designs. They have a sick car. They're slow, but like they got Bottas.
Well, it's a legend.
So like I bought it, and like I think I made the right choice because I was the only one with an Alfa Romeo hat.
Oh yeah,
So-
like that reminds me. When I went to Barcelona a few years ago, I think it was like 2019 or something. It was a while ago, and
Yeah.
I went to go see. I think it's like the intro game that Barcelona does. Like they play against La Boca Juniors from
Oh
from Argentina,
yeah.
and it was, like the tickets were. I mean, they were expensive because it's Barcelona, but they weren't that bad. So
Yeah.
we decided to get them, and I was like, I need to like get like a shirt so I look, so I fit in, and so I got like a Barcelona shirt, and I got to print a name on it, so I picked. I could have gone for like Messi, because he still played there at the time. I could have
Yeah.
gone for like Messi or like I don't know who the big ones were around, but I picked like the guy Gerard Piqué.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was so cool because I got him because I really liked him as a defender, and then I got into the stadium and nobody had him, and I felt so
Really?
unique. Yeah, nobody had him. Like maybe there was like
Honestly?
one guy who had him in like number 5. Do I still have the shirt? Probably.
I hate that guy.
You do.
Yeah, for 2 reasons. One, I think he cheated on Shakira, which you don't
Oh,
do my
yeah.
girl like that.
That is true.
And 2, in like 2010, a Mexican played his position, and he played for like 10 years at Barcelona. He was super good,
Mm.
but PK came in and took his position, and he was benched and then sold. So I have my bias against him. But anyway,
Oh, well, I mean, I was like 12. I was like, this guy
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
cool.
yeah.
It was
I mean,
either
that's-
him or Ivan Rakitic, the Croatian,
Oh yeah, that guy.
because I think they had just won the World Cup.
No, they came second.
Oh yeah, same thing.
But close
My
enough.
brain is yeah. So yeah, basically.
More than Mexico and Poland have ever accomplished.
One day, maybe no.
One day it will be us two in the finals.
Oh yeah, and we'll still manage to not win, both of us. We'll still
Yeah.
draw 0-0 like we did.
Yeah. The penalties are gonna like we're just gonna miss like every player
Everyone's
is
gonna miss. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Lewandowski did.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't miss. But it was
Oh yeah.
stopped.
Oh yeah, our goalkeepers are so good that nothing's
Yeah.
gonna go in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting
Ochoa's gonna be
sidetracked. Back
like
to F1.
60. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Bottas had sick, very unique. And then it was like 4 hours between the practice session and qualifying. So we had like nothing to do. They had like little races in between. There was like a Porsche GTR race, but
yeah.
like that was kind of boring
Who cares?
because in the stadium, the track screens, they weren't like showing the race. They were showing like ads and stuff. So you couldn't like see which driver was which.
Hashtag
You
ads.
couldn't see like, because I think it was qualifying for them. But like you couldn't see who was on pole, who was taking pole. Like it was so confusing. And I think there was something else, but I forgot, to be honest. And then qualifying starts.
Yeah.
And it's the usual, like, basically what you'd expect from any qualifying. But Checo was doing good.
Yeah.
He was doing good. He was finishing like third and second, first at some points, which was better than like he's been since like Miami. And so I was getting excited, like, oh my god, I might see like Checo finish on the front row. But
Yeah.
Q3 starts, and all of a sudden there's like a huge cloud passing over, and it's nighttime. Like all the daylight is gone. I think let me try to see if I can find the F1
the image,
video.
like it was, I saw images. It was just like, it's, you know.
Yeah, and like that would be fine if like the track had lights, but obviously it's not like designed for a night race, so they don't have any lights to shield. Let me I'm gonna send it to you, because like it's like this clip of like a lap of the track in Q1, and where it's like daylight, and then Q3 it's like suddenly you can't see anything. But
right, yeah, just keep talking about it.
Yeah, we're like, okay, I'm sure it'll pass by. It's gonna be a little bit of rain. It starts like raining, drizzling. And like outside in the bus line, there were like street vendors, taking advantage of all the tourists that that were there, and they were like, we're selling water ponchos. There's like a 100% chance of it raining. And my mom's like, okay, well, let's buy some just in case. But like the weather app said it was like a 40% chance of raining, like, and like throughout the day there was like no signs that it was gonna rain. So we were like, okay, well they were lying. We got scammed. Until that moment, and like my mom took them out like super quickly, and we put them on. And then like it goes from like light drizzle to pouring buckets of water, buckets on buckets on buckets, and we're like, let's get out of here. And we're like the first people to leave, but we were like at the very like end of our section, so like the gate to exit was on like 1 kilometer away, because it was like, that's an exaggeration, but it was still like super far away. So like as we're walking to the exit, everyone else starts getting up and leaving, and so now there's like a huge crowd ahead of us to get out, and so it takes like 10 minutes while it's pouring rain to get out. Like we're like, normally I'd be able to see like where my parents are in the crowd, and I'd be able to like catch up to them, but we have to be like hugging each other so we don't get lost. And we finally get out, but it's still like pouring rain, and it's such a mess of like people on the streets, cars, traffic, and you can't see like anything like 5 meters ahead of you because of how hard it's raining. and you can't like call a taxi because the like the rain is so strong that you can't use your phone. But we like walk like 5 minutes, and we finally get to like this like pharmacy that has like a little roof over it. And that's when my dad like pulls out his phone to call an Uber, and it's like telling us to go to a specific location, and it's not letting us call the Uber from anywhere else. So we have to walk like 20 minutes while it's still pouring. Like it did not calm down. And so we walk, and it's like super windy. Is the like rain calmed down a little bit, but like the wind made it so much worse. We got to the place finally after like 20-30 minutes of walking, and we called the Uber, and it's like searching for riders nearby, and it's like that for like 10 minutes, and then my mom pulls out her phone to call an Uber on her phone to see if it's like any quicker, and she calls like a different type of Uber. So instead of like Uber whatever, she calls like a smaller car, and then she tries a bigger car. It's the same thing. It's just on like searching for drivers nearby. No progress. But it's also not telling us that there aren't drivers nearby. So that was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But we're like, okay, what do we do? And we like wait there in like that location for like 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know. It was like last week. I already forgot. And so we just like walk. I don't remember why we started walking, but we see like after like walking for another 10 minutes, we see like a supermarket. And we like go there, and it's like full to the brim of people outside, but inside it's like empty. So we like go inside. Oh, and another thing, the like everything like on the F1 website said that everything was contactless, so it was like credit card only. But it didn't say that for the metro and for the like bus to get to the track, you have to use cash. Like they don't accept credit cards.
So for like the thing that's not like, it's not like the tiny little stores, like private stores. They're like the government run like services. No, they're gonna use cash.
Yeah, basically. And like obviously like because the F1 website said no cash needed, we didn't have like any money. Like we used like the like 100 reais, which is like I don't know, like 20, 30, 40 pounds for like our way to get there. But then like we didn't have any money. Like we were gonna use, because there were a lot of buses like going past us, and we're like, okay, well they're like pretty full, but we can still get on and like go to a different part of the favela, because this is all in a favela. Need I remind you, like we're in a favela. And so we're gonna get a bus, but then we're like, okay, but we don't have any money. So we're like, okay, I'm sure the supermarket has ATMs to get money, but they're not letting like any of our cards through. And so we're what are we
just
gonna
an overall do? Like just disaster.
Yeah, and we try to get an Uber again, but because there's like 50 other people in that supermarket also calling an Uber, like obviously no one's gonna get an Uber there. So we walk like another 20 minutes and we find our saving grace at McDonald's. And we're like we can't get an Uber, so we might as well just like order like a sundae while we wait for like everyone else to leave. And so we like, it's like a 2-story McDonald's. The like first floor has like some seats and it's like the cash register, and then the second story has like a bunch of seats, and there's like one like there's a good amount of empty seats. Clearly like everyone else from the track hadn't gotten to that McDonald's yet. So my dad ordered some, we because we ate in the track, we weren't hungry, so we like ordered like fries, we ordered nuggets, we ordered like sundaes, and we just wait there for like 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We're like trying to process everything that went that just happened, because we were like
Mm-hmm.
super stressed in the street. So like we took it as a time to like calm down, like try to figure out a strategy
Yeah.
to to get to our hotel in time, because it was like 6 p.m. and normally it gets dark at like 6:37. So we were like, we gotta get home before it gets dark, because then it'll get super dangerous. And like
Mm-hmm.
at that point, it stopped raining,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like a little bit of wind, so it was fine to like go
Mm-hmm.
outside. Um, and then like my mom, I don't know how she found this app, but it was like a taxi app. So it was like Uber, but for like taxis, like government registered taxis. And you can like call one instead of like waving for one in the street. You could like call one and they would like pick you up.
Uh-huh.
And we like instantly find a driver, and we're like, okay, let's finish eating super quickly, and we like and we go downstairs to like wait to get picked up, and it's like 5 minute wait, like super quick.
Mm-hmm.
And we like finally get get in the car, and it's like this super chill old guy, and he like tells us, have you seen the news? And we're like, no, we've been we've been trying to get home. And he shows us like pictures, because he's in like a group chat with other taxi drivers,
Yeah.
and they're like they're like all sharing like pictures of like these like different like tragedies that have been happening all over Sao Paulo. And it's like fallen trees in like power wirings and like in cars. There's like this gas station that like one of the pillars that was supporting like the roof like collapsed, and so the gas station caved in, and we're like, oh my god. We got so
Yeah.
lucky, because like we like sure like it was a hassle to get an Uber to get home, but for one, it could have been a lot worse. We could have been crushed by a tree. And two, while we were like getting out of the favela, we still saw like so many people from the F1 race waiting to be picked up by an Uber.
Mhm.
So it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But we finally get home. We all take a shower. We order room service. It's so good. Obviously, room service is
Mhm.
always the best.
Yeah.
And then we like turn on the news. It's horrible. Oh, and on the Uber ride back, it was all dark. Like the
Yeah.
entire city, like all the power went off.
Mhm.
So, except for our hotel. So we got lucky on that department.
Mhm.
And we like, okay, tomorrow we are not going by metro. We are not going by bus. We are going by this taxi app, because it's so much better than an Uber. Because like no one uses it.
Uh-huh.
So it's super easy to get a ride.
Yeah.
So finally, we go to sleep, and
After just day one.
that was day one. Like,
Yeah.
and it was like such a boring day too. Like we could have like not gone, and it wouldn't change anything, because watching qualifying, like sure it's like fun seeing the cars there going like full speed, but like you can't watch qualifying without having like the times on your screen. So like it was basically
Yeah.
like watching a race from TV, because
Mhm.
like you had to look at the screens to like see what driver said like the new fastest lap.
Yeah.
So like we could have just completely missed out on that day, and it wouldn't have changed anything.
I mean, you created a
Um,
better story than all of the like. It's more exciting than the entire season this year.
That is true. That is true. Oh, and also, we were like meeting up with these family friends, because they had the tickets like way before us. Like they got like
Mhm.
original tickets, and they
Mhm.
they were flying in on the Friday. We flew in on the Thursday.
Mhm.
And they were like gonna meet us up for qualifying. Like they flew Friday morning. They were gonna arrive right before qualifying and get there right before qualifying. But at first they like had to switch planes, because like the plane was malfunctioning.
Oh.
So they like switched planes. That was like in like 40 minutes, and then like their flight got delayed, so they
Mhm.
had to wait like 2 hours for another flight, and they were like, okay, well, we're not gonna make it for qualifying, so we might as well just like get dinner together. And then they get to Sao Paulo, and they're like, they're like, there's a plane stuck in the landing strip, so they can't land, and so they had to turn around and go back to Rio.
Oh.
And so they were like, "Fuck, we're not gonna make it at all." But then they ended up getting a flight the next day in at 4 a.m. So
Okay.
it was fine. They got there in the end, but it was
Yeah.
it was even worse for them. Like 12
Yeah.
hours, because like from Rio to Sao Paulo, it's like an hour, less than an hour. But they ended up doing 12 hours of travel total from like when they like got to the airport to like when they decided to
Yeah,
give
door
up
to
and go
door.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Saturday, it's like expected to be clear skies, no clouds at all. We still buy the like rain ponchos that they're selling outside, just because we can't trust
You never know.
the weather app. And we meet up with the family friends, out in the line, because this time there was a line. And it was like a 1 hour line, and we got there like right as qualifying for the sprint was happening, because we were like, okay, well, I'm sure it's gonna be like a 10-minute wait. But we were so wrong, and so it ended up being like 1 hour, a little bit more. But we got in right like during that like weird moment where it's like 4 hours of nothing. It's like the Porsche race again.
No.
Like, it's like the same Porsche cars, but like different like cup. So it was super strange. And yeah,
And
so we just get food. We like sit down. We like find like the perfect seats, where like you can see like 4 different parts of the track. It's like, I think I took a picture of it. I'll try to find it. But it's like the most perfect seats, and like we're like right behind a tree. So like by the time the sprint starts, we're like covered by a shadow.
Oh,
So
wow.
the picture I sent you, it's kind of bad.
That's not it.
You can
I'll
kind of
live.
see. I'll put it in the screen in the podcast, but there's like one corner which is like corner 5 or something, and then like a long straight in like another part of the track, and then when you can see them like turning, making like the final turn, and then it's like the like actual part of the track we can see, and then like on the right you can see like the like finish line, and then like the entry to the pits. So it's like perfect, and you can also see that like
That's
we're
a really good
covered
spot,
and we're like completely free from the
shade.
And then the sprint was actually really entertaining. Like Max won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Blah blah blah. But I can't remember the order. Oh yeah. Well, Checo qualified P3, which was incredible for him. And it was like so much fun, because it was like 30 minutes, like 1 hour. I don't know how long sprints last, but it felt like 10 minutes. Like it was so much fun, and it was so cool seeing like the cars battle, like actually seeing them up close and live.
Oh yeah.
But I got happy because Checo ended up, because he had a horrible start and dropped to P5, but then made up those places like instantly and finished P3. So yeah, the sprint was really fun. And then we got dinner with the family friends. We went to this Italian restaurant. It was pretty good. And then Sunday,
The big
we
day.
got there on time, because like normally it would be like, no, it wouldn't be anything before the race. It would be normal. So there was like, we like still wanted to get there early to like see like everything that happened pre-race, like the drivers parade, there was like a Formula 4 race, which like kind of would be kind of entertaining to watch. And we get there, and we were like waiting outside the line, and like we hear cars going by, and we like check the schedule. It's another Porsche race.
No, another
So
one.
so we're like happy that we missed we missed it. And then the line this time, it looked like it was gonna be shorter, but then it ended up like looping around the entire, like another like
Awesome.
block. So so it ended up being like 1 hour 30 or something. And this time we came like equipped with like we had a Mexico flag, and then
You had like the full arsenal, yeah.
yeah, we had Mexico flags. The like family friends had their own Mexican flag. My mom bought like a cardboard, like 6 different cardboards, and like on one we wrote C, on one we wrote H, and then we spelled out Checo's name.
Oh,
And
okay,
then
cool.
on the last one we like wrote Mexican hero or something like that, but in Spanish.
Yeah.
For the driver's parade, because like obviously he wasn't gonna see that in the race, but like when they're like going around the track saying hi to the fans, we were like, he's definitely gonna see this, because we were the only Mexicans in our section, like there was no one else. So we get in, we watched the Formula 4 race, which actually had Rubens Barrichello's son in it, and he finished P2, which was pretty cool. It wasn't really that eventful, except for like 2 red flags, because 2 drivers crashed. And then the driver's parade. Okay, it's like in order. There's like 2 cars per driver, per like team, and it's like in order of the championship. So it's Red Bull first, and Mercedes, and McLaren, and then Aston Martin. And so it's like so slow, because the cars obviously have to go slow for like them to say hi to the fans. But like it takes like 5 minutes for them to get to our section, and they finally get there. We like get out the flags, because we're like seated like 3 people in one row, and then behind them are 3 other people, and the people on top held up the signs that said Checo, and then the 3 people at the bottom were like waving the flags. And I felt like a fangirl, because when Checo passed by, he like pointed at us and like gave us a thumbs up, and I was like, oh my god, he saw me! Oh my god, it was so awesome.
Oh, that's so
you
cool.
could like I could see his face, and it was him like smiling and giving us a thumbs up, and it was so sick. And then like 9th right now is Alfa Romeo, so Bottas was driving past, and I was the only one with a Alfa Romeo hat, so I like took it off and waved it around, and he pointed at me and gave me a thumbs up, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And so I was freaking out. It was so awesome. Anyway, the race, well, Checo was P9 because he couldn't set a lap in qualifying because of the rain. So I was like super excited, because like seeing him in the weekend, it was like, okay, well, he's definitely gonna make up some places. And he gets like he gets by Stroll, who was Stroll like Stroll was P3. I don't know if you saw that one. Yeah, he was P3, and he instantly dropped down to. Oh wait, no! I'm so stupid. I'm like forgetting everything. I should have like wrote down what I was gonna say.
That's fine.
In the formation lap, Leclerc was P2.
Oh yeah.
And like it's like the formation lap. You don't expect anything exciting to happen.
Yeah.
But like there was like a building right where he crashed. But like the people next to us like could see it, like the crash clearly, and so they like stood up and pointed, whoa, and we're like, what happened? And then like the screens like take like 10 seconds to like change to Leclerc, but it's just him like in the barriers, and we're like, oh my god, there's no way. And and so that happened, and then in the actual race start, Stroll drops down to P7. Norris makes up like 5 positions and gets to P2. And then Albon and Magnussen collide. So there's a red flag instantly. Like we're not even like one lap down and there's already a red flag. And Checo made up like 1 position before the red flag came out. So he like had one. Well, he had like he made up 2 positions actually technically because Leclerc was out and he overtook Sainz. And then in the restart, it took like 15 minutes for them to start the race again. And the restart was pretty boring. Checo got through Stroll really easily, obviously, and then I'm focusing on Checo because obviously I'm gonna focus on Checo. That's the only person I paid attention to the entire race. And then Checo got past Russell, got past Hamilton, which was huge because Brazil loves Hamilton. Like they made him an honorary citizen because they love him so much.
Didn't the States do that as well?
Yeah.
Like America loves him as well, yeah.
Yeah. But like every time he like drove past, like everyone cheered so loudly. Yeah. Like during the driver's parade, he was just getting praised so much. But then when Checo got past him, we were like hesitant to like wave our flags and celebrate because we didn't know if the fans were gonna get angry. But it was like huge for Checo because obviously like the main battle for P2 is between those two. But it was like I don't remember what happened for the rest of the race, but like lap 50 after Checo got past Hamilton, he was like really behind Alonso, who was P3, because Hamilton was so slow that Alonso just was able to get such a huge lead. And so Checo had a lot of time to make up, and when he like made it up, he had to pit, which dropped him back, but he was like one of the first drivers to pit, so he like was able to get back to P4 really quickly, and Alonso was ahead of him still. But like lap 50, he's like within the DRS zone of Alonso, and we're like all expecting him to get by, but he couldn't get by in like the first DRS zone. So like they do one more lap, and we're like I like see him behind, because like you can see we were like right at the section where like the DRS turned on for like the final straight, and so like I can see that Checo had DRS again, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna get by this time, but he didn't. And he is trailing behind Alonso's DRS zone for like 15 laps easily.
Yeah.
And he can't do anything. Like each lap he had DRS, but he couldn't get by him, which was crazy to me. And then like finally on the 15th lap, he finally gets through. It's like lap 70 out of 71 at this point, and they do one more lap. Alonso is within the DRS zone, but Checo defends, and he couldn't get by. But then in the second DRS zone, Alonso does like tricks Checo and gets by him, and like we could like see it barely, but we could see it, and everyone freaks out. Like you could hear like 300,000 people screaming because of the overtake, and and me and like my family and the family friends were like, oh my god, no way that just happened. We were still super happy in the end because it was Checo drove. Checo drove like he.
It was such a good race.
He was able to do shit. And so I got super lucky to be there, like in like because like it was probably the best battle of 2023. Oh, and final lap, Alonso's ahead of Checo, but Checo's also in the DRS zone in the final straight, and you can like, cause like it like cut, like our view cut off right at like the finish line, so we couldn't see the finish line, but we could see like right before the finish line, and so I see Checo make a move where he's like right beside Alonso, and I'm like, oh my god, did he get through? And then in the screen it like showed, like, you know how like when the race is over they like show the picture of like the top three
Yeah, the
drivers?
3 hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
sure,
like
Alonso.
expecting Checo to I'm expecting Checo to show up, but no, it's Alonso, and I'm like, okay, well he
I mean,
he
still,
did
what a
his
finish!
best.
Like,
He did his yeah.
what
It
a
was
race
super
that
exciting.
was. Yeah.
In the final day, like, cause we left Monday, not Sunday, and like I was like, you know what, I'm running again. I don't have a lot of like exercise clothes, so I went to like the hotel stand, and I got like this super cool McLaren dry fit shirt.
Yeah.
And I also got this. My dad got a McLaren hat, cause he was like in love with it. And he also got this Checo, because the like one thing they had of Checo was a running shirt, so he also got that.
Oh.
And that was pretty much all that I bought. And then we got home. It was normal for us, no delays, and yeah, that was my weekend. Not very exciting, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah. I mean, it only took an hour off the podcast.
It only took.
Okay, so you've done all the talking now. Now we gotta. I'm gonna do some talking.
Okay.
Should we keep talking about F1 or should we leave that till next episode? Because
Well,
are we
did
gonna have
say
a
that
guest next episode?
We did say that it was all gonna be F1 this episode.
It's gonna be a big F1.
were
Okay,
gonna-
we'll talk a bit more F1.
Yeah.
So, moving on from Brazil, as good of a race it was, and as much to talk about there was, Las Vegas is up next.
Yes.
So much
It is.
controversy
And it's
about
going
this
to
race.
Suck.
It's gonna be
It's
such a
going to be
bad race.
Garbage.
It's just this huge show for nothing, but oh well.
The track.
So the first thing
sucks.
is, yeah. First thing is the track is basically like a big rectangle with a couple kinks on it. The second thing is that they've ripped up the strip. They have to resurface everything, which is terrible for all the residents. And then there's the other thing, which is the whole controversy about residents and hotels that overlook the track have been, I think, have they been like boarded up? Like they don't get a view, right? They like put something in front of them.
Yeah.
So they can't see it because they don't pay for it. And then there is, what other drama is there for this, right? I mean, it's just a nightmare.
It's just the fact that it's Las Vegas. Oh, that it's at 12 a.m. So like for me, like for some people it's gonna happen on Saturday. And it's going to be the coldest race ever.
Yeah, it's gonna
Because
4 degrees I think
it's-
is
Yeah,
predicted.
it's
Yeah.
Nevada in like November, and like it would be fine if they did it in like July or something.
Yeah.
But because it's November, obviously it's
In the
like
desert.
freezing. In the desert, it's
desert,
freezing.
yeah. Yeah, kind of ridiculous, but
I think that's gonna be the only interesting part of the race, to see how like different teams manage.
it's gonna be
their
super
time.
like slippery. Yeah, they have to warm like if Kimi was there, he might actually would have to like warm his tires, although he probably still wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a like it's gonna be just a mess. Like, have you seen
Did
the
you see
curves
the-
that they're doing? Like with the
Yeah.
with like the
you sent me
card
on
symbols.
Instagram.
Yeah, and like
Honestly,
if you look
like-
at the comments, of that, all of them are just like, oh boy, I wish you did paid much attention to like the roads that I'm having to drive on every day that you've ripped apart and like ruined in my commute. Just mad Las Vegas residents. It's really funny.
I mean, kind of based, but also, as much of like a show that is gonna be, I think the curves are kind of sick. Like
They
that's
do
that's,
look cool.
that's kind of a sick addition.
Yeah. But I don't know. It'll be a first for F1. But the thing is, like, it'll be cool, right? If it's like one race, nice. No, this is 10 years. 10 years of Las
Yep.
Vegas. The residents are like, nah, this is not happening.
Yeah,
Next time there's gonna be like a
probably
protest. I'm telling you, like.
Yeah. Honestly, fair enough. I would be super mad.
Yeah, like, what a story.
Did you see
I don't
the
think there's-
Ferrari car?
Oh yeah, the Ferrari car looks really nice.
Yeah,
I
because they're
feel
going
that.
back to like a Schumacher type
Mm.
type design, so it's gonna be sick. Not Mick.
Yeah, the other one, like the one that succeeded.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we have? Do we have anything else to say?
I'm like
Or
I'm like
about F1?
tired from talking so
I
much.
mean, you've been talking for an hour.
I'm like physically exhausted.
I've got stuff to talk about other topics because I actually brought something to the table for once.
Do you wanna
Having had a
tell them
2 week
now?
break. I mean, are we done with F1? Is there anything else to say?
Nope.
All right.
Take it away.
Cool. So, let me have a look at my little list. I want to talk about movies and music. Now, music we'll get onto in a second. That's it's a special secret that we'll come on to in a second. But movies, right? So, I've watched quite a few movies this year. I've gone a bit back into, especially like the new stuff. I've been pretty kept up. I've watched a lot of new movies. Oh yeah, on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have been talking about how movies this year have been like terrible. Like this year's been one of the worst years for movies because like there's been like one good movie like on like like a few like literally countable movies that have succeeded. So, like, what do you think of that? Because have you watched any of the new movies?
I watched Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Same.
That's it. That's it. They
Yeah,
were
if
pretty
you look
good.
at
I love
the highest grossing movies of 2023. Barbie is number 1.
Obviously.
Number 2 is Super Mario, which I forgot was this year, to be honest.
Oh,
Like,
I like that one. People hated it. I liked it.
yeah, it was alright.
Oh wait, Spider Verse.
Yeah.
That was an awesome one.
Oppenheimer is 3rd. Then Guardians of the Galaxy, which is just because it's a Marvel movie. I don't think it was that good. I think it was
No, I
good.
didn't like them.
I don't think it was that.
Like
that
out of
good.
their like recent ones, it was pretty good.
Yeah. I am seeing the Marvels movie tomorrow.
Oh,
The brand new one that came out this week.
No.
Which, I mean, I like Captain Marvel, which is why I'm seeing it. But
Yeah,
we'll
but
see.
have you seen the reviews?
Oh, is it bad?
They're horrible.
Okay.
People are saying it's the worst Marvel movie ever.
I'm actually. Oh, it got 6.1 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be a funny one. And then there's Fast X, which I haven't seen because I don't know. I don't know what that is. So Across the Spider-Verse, which is cinematic masterpiece, which is I
I'm
think.
surprised it's that low, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's an animated movie.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
People get turned away because it's
by
animated,
far
but
it was by far the best movie of this year.
I think it's just it's incredible. Little Mermaid, huh?
How are they right next to each other? What?
What was this? I don't even. Whatever. Mission Impossible. I really like this Mission Impossible. I think it was one of the better
Oh
ones.
yeah. I didn't watch it.
I enjoyed it. But I mean, I just like Mission Impossible. Who doesn't like Tom Cruise? Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I forgot that came out. John Wick. I haven't seen it. Transformers.
I
Haven't
watched
seen it.
It was pretty good.
Meg 2 apparently was extremely mid. Or at least that's what I heard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard that too.
I think it was 5.1 on IMDb. It's not good.
Oh.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I think was okay. Like looking back at it, I liked it in the moment, but looking back, it probably wasn't the best way to finish the series. But yeah, Creed 3, I don't know what that is. The Flash. There was a Flash movie. There was a Flash movie. I forgot about that.
I watched it with Toto and some others. And over the summer, Toto, like I found out that Toto loves movies just as much as me. And we like talked about it, and like I showed him my letterbox.
Yeah.
And like when he saw the Flash, I rated it like half a star, and he's like, "Yep, yes, I
Yep.
agree."
The
so
Nun
bad.
2, I don't know what that is. Sound of Freedom, and then like one of the most talked about movies, like I think I've seen in recent history. People have talked about it so much. The Taylor Swift movie.
Oh
Number
yeah,
19. It's like it's the most popular concert movie of all time, of course. But what a story!
Do you know Talking Heads, the band?
Yeah. Oh, what's it called again? The movie?
They-
I always forget.
Stop Making Sense.
Yeah.
And
I wanna
I
watch that
wanted
as
to watch it so bad. We're gonna watch it because like there's like the pirated version on YouTube. So like I wanted to watch it so bad, but they didn't release it in Brazil. I was so
Oh.
mad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but there's also isn't who's it? There's another concert movie coming out. Rihanna, I think, is doing one. Apparently, it's
really?
not so. Apparently, the concert was mid, so I don't think like I mean, the Eras tour is like one of the most incredible things ever created.
Yeah.
Like what shows
And
ever created.
it's still going on. Like
It's still going.
on.
Yeah, Renaissance. Filmed by. Oh no, it's Beyonce, not Rihanna. My bad.
Oh. Still.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I won't watch it, but
Me neither.
I still haven't seen the Eras tour movie, but I will watch it at some point. As a certified Swiftie, I have to watch it. Five Nights at Freddy's is only so bad.
No.
5.5. Dungeons and Dragons. I actually saw this movie. Dungeons and
Yeah, me
Dragons Honor
too.
Among Thieves.
Did we watch? Yeah, we watched it together. Yeah.
Was it together? Probably. It was. I mean, I didn't understand it. But
No,
Right?
I think they did a good job at like making it friendly for non D&D viewers because
Oh,
like I was
yeah,
sitting
that-
next to
yeah.
Jack. I was sitting next to Jack when watching it, and
Mhm.
I've never played D&D in my life. And
yeah.
I'm like, I'm surprised I understood most of it. I told him.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
like,
I
it
understood
made
most
sense,
of it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, well, they didn't like do a lot of references. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was an entertaining movie. Yeah, I liked it. Oh my god! Like a few down, you find Paw Patrol, the mighty movie.
Oh my god! How did we not watch that?
Bro, I need to watch that. It's got a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, that one. I heard good things about it.
I need to confess something. I didn't really watch Ninja Turtles ever.
Me neither.
I
Me
watched
neither.
like 3
Don't worry,
episodes.
you're not alone.
Okay,
You're not
okay.
alone.
I mean, I doubt it, but if Leo is watching, he's gonna kill both of us. But we don't talk about that. Yeah, we'll just not.
We don't talk about that now.
And I think everything else is, not really worth talking about.
Not relevant.
Did I watch anything else? The new movies? No. not
Oh
really.
yeah, we,
Hmm?
cause me and Toto. Well, me obviously I didn't go to your sleepover, but Toto
Mhm.
didn't go either. And we were like talking about it afterwards, and we were so disappointed in you guys because you watched so many movies. Well, no, you didn't watch so many movies, but out of the movies you saw, you didn't watch
Those
any
random
like.
ones.
Yeah, you didn't watch any like a good one. So we're making a list of all the movies that we are
Okay.
going to watch together when I go
Okay.
in January. And get ready,
Oh
because
yeah.
it's a lot. It's a
No,
lot.
I mean, the
but-
problem is the PS5 was a bit of a distraction.
yeah.
So like
for
it
Louis
was just
mostly.
non-stop. Yeah. But yeah, we should have watched more movies. We watched like just like funny movies because like we felt like watching them, and then we
gonna
wanted to
watch
watch a horror
Kiki's.
movie, but we failed at that as well. We're gonna watch Kiki's, but Louis didn't want to do it. Well, that's the movie section
That's a movie
or our
section.
movie talk, and now we move on to a new segment.
Musica.
This is gonna be a regular thing, hopefully, because we're
Mhm.
both obsessed with music.
Different music, but
Very different
still
music.
obsessed with music. Yeah.
Like our music tastes are like so different, but it's kind of funny.
The things that we both like, we're like we agree on. It's like good, but apart from that, it's
Yeah, like
it's
the
completely
3
different.
artists that we agree on or something.
Yeah.
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 But I don't know how we're gonna structure this yet. But my idea was like we talk about what have you listened to in the past week or something. What was like
Okay.
been your favorite song or something, or just anything about music. What do you have to say about music?
Let me look at. Well, I mean, during the like taxi trips from the track to the hotel in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, it was like 40 minutes from there because like there's a lot of traffic and also it's kind of far. So I listened
Yeah.
to a lot of music. You don't know it, most of it, I think.
Of course I do. Yeah.
But it was like a lot of like well, my music taste. Well, let's start with like describing what music we listen to.
Mhm.
My music taste is a lot of shoegaze. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically the a music genre where
Mhm.
they like have they like it's mostly guitar, and they like have so many effects on their guitars and weird sounds that they have to like constantly look down at the floor because they're changing like the effects with like pedals.
Oh.
And so that's why it's called
Oh, that's why
shoegaze.
it's called shoegaze.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And I love telling people that it's really
Mhm.
funny, but
It's a cool name.
so like my music taste is like weird sound. And so I listen to a lot of like, well, I mean, to like the one person that watches this podcast, you're not gonna get this.
Yeah.
But it's Have a Nice Life, Alex G, who has like a couple mainstream songs, I think. And I also started listening to Jeff Buckley, who was around in the 90s before he died. But I think you like him actually.
I don't know. I'm gonna have a look.
He like he has a beautiful voice, and he makes like
Mhm.
love songs, but they're like
Okay.
so heartbreaking, and it's
Mhm.
beautiful. I'll add it to our playlist, so you can
Well, that's a
check
good
it out,
idea. We
but-
should do that. Yeah, we have a playlist
Yeah.
together. We should. Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
me for music.
Okay.
Your turn.
Cool. So I don't know if we talked. No, we talked about this not on the show, but we talked about it elsewhere. Like that, I'm really happy that like I managed to like refine my music taste. I feel like I that's how I put it. Like I've because I got back into listening to music like a lot, like daily, in 2021. And ever since then, I've been kind of re-listening to the old songs, finding new songs, but they're all like like the biggest songs, like the pop songs and like the ones that have been most popular over the years. But now I finally found like the ones that I like rather than the ones that the people like, which I think
Yeah.
is pretty cool. So I'm kind of finding like the artists that I really enjoy, and one of them is AJR, which have I told you
Mhm.
about AJR before?
Yes.
It's New York-based band of three brothers who make I don't know what style how to describe it. It's like they have such a cool style. It's so unique. Like there's so many sounds going on, and they're all like homemade almost. Like they make their music in their living room. Like that's where they record it, I think. And
Yeah.
it sounds.
really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And they released a new album this week. In fact, they released it
Oh really?
yesterday. The Maybe Man. I don't know. You probably might have heard about it. In they were on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, which
Oh.
I like watching on YouTube clips. But it's
Okay,
I mean it's taken a while for them to release it because of like they've had like a lot of stuff going on. So like the first single from this album I think came out like almost 2 years ago or something. July.
2
Okay,
years ago?
it was a year ago. July
Oh, okay.
2022.
Okay.
Like it was a while ago because it's
Yeah,
just taken
yeah,
so
yeah.
long to get this album out. But it's
Yeah.
a really good album. I like it a lot. So AJR the Maybe Man, my favorite song in general is I Won't, which is the one that came out a year ago. And then
Mhm.
Touchy Feely Fool is my favorite one from the non-single like releases.
Yeah.
So for the one listener, actually, if Jack is already listening, he already listens to this
Yeah,
band.
yeah,
but,
Jack.
oh well. And then I also got into a new a band that I only just heard about called The Bleachers. Have you heard of them before?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know them?
Yes. Let me
Yeah,
look them up so I'm not to make sure I'm not
yeah.
getting them confused.
I mean, led by Jack Antonoff, one of the most like well-respected producers of all time.
Oh, they made a song with Lana Del Rey. That's sick.
Yeah, they did.
That's where I know them from.
Yeah, I really like this style of music. It's like indie alternative, not rock. I don't know what they call it again. Like, it's a bit of like
I don't know. I
just a
have the same
mishmash.
problem.
I love this. I really like this band. I got into them literally this week, and I've already like listened to almost all the songs. It's so good.
Yeah.
Jack Antonoff is like such a good producer, I swear. But yeah, it's I really like this one. I think they just call themselves indie style. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's not quite a lot going on, but it's a bit of like 80s style. Like it feels like 80s, like Bruce Springsteen.
Mm.
In fact, they have a
Mm,
song with
mhm.
Bruce Springsteen.
Oh really?
Called Chinatown, which is a good one. But if from that band, I would do Modern Girl, which is their new release. I think it's so good. Let me add it to our playlist. Um, what is it? Roller Coaster's a really good one. Don't Take the Money is my favorite one from like 2017. And then Wake Me's a good one that I discovered today. And then what's like the one? Just looking through my life. Oh yeah, Like a River Runs. I really like this one. It's like underrated, but it's good. So that's another band I got into, but there's more.
Ooh.
I also got I don't know if you know the Mowgli's. They're not very popular. But you might know their main song, San Francisco. I don't know. It's that they are like they're also indie, because I really like indie. But they're like they are super like they're like the Beach Boys but new, right? Because I mean they're from like I think they're from LA.
The Beach Boys, but not old as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, they're from California, so, you know, that kind of explains it. And I liked the song Alone Sometimes, and I listened to that song like a year ago or something, but I got back into them, like, I actually listened to their albums. So San Francisco from Waiting for Dawn is a really good song. Then from the other album, Where Do We Can Go, I would recommend Spiderweb, Automatic, and Monster. All three of them are good. I'll add them to the playlist, and you can, like, put them up on screen or something, I don't know.
Okay.
If
I
you
will probably not.
if you feel like doing it, yeah, good. There you go. But I'll add them to the playlist. And I think that's everything from. I also got like this to more Avril Lavigne, which is always a big W.
Queen.
Mhm.
I could talk more about music, but it's been a long episode.
It has been a long episode. We already.
But I do want to talk more about it. But I also don't. I want to maybe save it for another one.
Mhm. Next episode, we might have a guest. Maybe it's a good idea to not have a guest because it's a race weekend and we want to talk about music and then we'll have one.
True.
The time after.
Bro, it's a race weekend. And it's another race weekend back to back.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, this one isn't even a race weekend, but.
And then the one after is the end of the season. So, okay, I say we just do 2 alone episodes where it's just us two, and then after that nothing because it's off season, so we're not gonna talk about F1.
We just get a bunch of guests, and we actually have to like find stuff to talk about for an hour, which is gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
That's just a guest support.
So next episode and then one after that one, us two talking about F1, and then we get guests finally, and then the special episodes that will happen at some point.
At some point, those are very secret. Okay, so I think that's concludes our. That was a good episode. Unlike the undisclosed episode that happened a week ago. Don't talk about that.
Yeah, good thing we got rid of that one.
Scrap that one, yeah. This one I actually like prepared for a bit more, but I like it.
I talked for an hour.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm exhausted.
Fair enough. A lot of talking. Yeah.
Next episode, I'll come up with more music things because I do want to
talk about music.
I do want to brag about my awesome music taste a little bit more. So.
But like, apart from mine's a little bit better, but.
No, but like you see, mine is like, better, you know.
But like, what if I say mine's better? Okay, we're gonna be forever. Let's end the episode.
We can do another episode about whose
music taste is better. Yeah. We'll have our one viewer vote for whose music taste is better.
No, that's unfair because you and Jack have the same music taste.
Exactly. That's why I think we should have. I think we should have a vote.
Fun.
Okay. We'll see you next time. Bye.